Welcome back to the channel. Here's a question most men never ask. What actually makes a woman chase you instead of just noticing you? It's not your looks. It's not your money. And it's definitely not how nice you are. The real secret. It's your boundaries. The invisible lines you draw without saying a word, lines that say, this is who I am. This is what I allow. And this is what I'll walk away from. You see, most men are taught to please, to bend, to tolerate, to prove themselves. But women aren't drawn to that. They are drawn to strength. And boundaries are the ultimate sign of strength. They show that you're a man who leads his own life, with or without her. A man who values his time, energy, and peace. And when a woman sees that, she feels something rare. Respect, followed by attraction. In this video, I'll break down the 6 most powerful boundaries that instantly make women pay attention and often pursue you. These are not rules to manipulate her, they are standards that elevate you. Once you live by them, women will feel the difference, even if they can't explain it. And that's when attraction becomes inevitable. Number 1. You don't tolerate disrespect, even when it's playful. Disrespect doesn't always show up as screaming matches or insults. Sometimes, it comes as a backhanded compliment, sarcasm in front of friends, or subtle eye-rolling. The average man ignores it, trying to keep things light or fun, afraid that calling it out might ruin the moment. But what he doesn't realize is that ignoring disrespect tells her everything about his self-worth. Women notice this instantly. When a man can't check bad behavior, even with someone he's attracted to, he subconsciously signals that he'll tolerate being walked on. And that destroys attraction at its roots. A high-value man sees those little jabs for what they are, tests. Often unconscious, women test boundaries to see what kind of man they are dealing with. Will he fold to keep her around, or stand firm even if it risks discomfort? The man who calmly walks away, sets a limit, or simply goes quiet, he radiates strength. He's not reactive. He doesn't shout or argue. But he makes it very clear. I don't reward disrespect with more attention. That response triggers a shift in her psychology. Suddenly, he's not someone she can push. He's someone she has to earn. The beauty of this boundary is that it doesn't have to be loud or angry. It's quiet, confident, and consistent. You're not trying to dominate her, you're demonstrating your own internal standards. And when a woman sees that you won't bend your backbone for beauty, she's hooked. Not because you're mean or controlling, but because you have what most men lack, unshakable self-respect. And that's the kind of energy that pulls her in without you having to chase. Number 2. You don't over-explain or justify your decisions. Many men fall into the trap of over-explaining themselves, especially when they care about a woman's opinion. Whether it's canceling a plan, saying no to a request, or expressing disagreement, they often go into long explanations to soften the blow, or avoid confrontation. But here's the twist. Over-explaining doesn't make you more likable, it makes you look unsure. It tells her you don't fully believe in your decisions unless she validates them. That's not attractive. What's attractive is a man who speaks clearly, briefly, and leaves it at that. When you say no and mean it, without excuses, you instantly signal strength. It's not about being rude, it's about clarity. Imagine you turn down a date, because you're tired, or have something more important to do. Most guys will write 5 sentences apologizing. But a confident man says, I'm not available tonight. Let's try another time. No drama. No guilt. Just boundaries. That calm certainty speaks louder than 1,000 words. She may feel confused at first, especially if she's used to guys who bend over backward. But that confusion will soon turn into respect. And the more you practice this, the more magnetic you become. You're not teaching her to fear you, you're teaching her that your energy isn't up for negotiation. You have a life, goals, peace, and you're not throwing any of it away for temporary approval. This doesn't repel women. It attracts the right ones, the ones who respect men with a backbone. Your silence becomes power. And your confidence, felt in how few words you use, becomes unforgettable. Number 3. You don't chase when she pulls away. Attraction isn't built when you're chasing, it's built when you're centered. One of the biggest mistakes men make is trying to win a woman back the moment she pulls away. Whether she stops texting, grows distant, or becomes less available, most guys react with fear. They double down on attention, compliments, and reassurance. But in doing so, they destroy the very attraction they're trying to maintain. Because when you chase, you tell her that her absence holds more power than your presence. A high-value man never chases. He recognizes when a woman is withdrawing, and instead of panicking, he mirrors that distance. He leans back, not out of manipulation, but out of principle. If someone isn't choosing him, he won't beg to be chosen. He trusts that the right person won't require him to abandon himself. And that confidence creates emotional space. Ironically, that space is often what reignites her interest. Because when a man doesn't flinch, he becomes fascinating. Chasing signals insecurity. It tells her you fear losing her more than losing your self-respect. But stillness, graceful stillness, tells her you value peace over chaos. And when a woman realizes she can't control your reactions, she starts respecting your energy more. You become the man she wants to get closer to, not because you chased her back, but because you stayed still when she expected you to break. Number 4. You never compete for her attention. Most guys don't realize this, but competing for a woman's attention is the fastest way to lose her interest. Whether it's trying to one-up other men, overposting on social media, or constantly seeking validation, it all gives off the same scent, desperation. And women are biologically tuned to sense neediness. When a man tries too hard to stand out or win her, he's no longer leading, he's following. And that flips the power dynamic completely. Instead of being the prize, he becomes just another suitor hoping to be picked. A masculine man never competes, because he already knows his worth. He doesn't need to be the loudest guy in the room, or the one constantly texting. He doesn't panic if she's talking to other men. Why? Because he's rooted in the belief that if a woman is truly interested, she'll make space for him. And if she doesn't, he's gone, not out of bitterness, but out of standards. That calm detachment is rare. It tells her you're not on the market for approval, you're on the market for compatibility. Women are drawn to men who aren't emotionally reactive. When she sees you unbothered by other options, uninterested in proving yourself, she becomes curious. Why doesn't he chase like the others? That question builds psychological tension. And tension is the birthplace of attraction. By refusing to compete, you're not being passive, you're being powerful. You're making it clear that she must choose you, not test your willingness to fight for crumbs. Number 5. You set time limits on emotional drama. Let's get real, emotional drama is unavoidable in dating. But what separates a high-value man is how he handles it. Most men either tolerate endless emotional spirals, or shut down completely. Neither approach works. The man who tolerates too much gets drained and loses respect. The man who shuts down entirely seems cold and uninvested. But the masculine man, he holds space, temporarily. He listens, stays calm, but eventually draws a line. He says, in essence, I'm here for solutions, not cycles. When a woman brings emotion, confusion, tears, overthinking, the man who can ground that energy without drowning in it becomes irresistible. He doesn't belittle her, but he doesn't get lost in it either. He listens deeply, but doesn't let it drag for hours. Once it crosses the line from expression to chaos, he gently redirects. I hear you, but let's talk when emotions settle. That's a man who understands feminine energy without being consumed by it. That's rare. Women don't want a therapist, they want a leader. And leaders don't let emotional storms decide the course. By calmly setting a time limit on drama, you're showing emotional maturity. You're not afraid of emotions, you simply refuse to let them dictate your life. That boundary creates safety, ironically. She feels more secure knowing you won't fold, yell, or disappear. You'll handle emotion like a man, steady, grounded, and firm. And that's the kind of presence women crave in a chaotic world. Number 6. You never abandon your purpose for a relationship. Here's the deepest boundary of all, your purpose comes first. Most men, when they fall for a woman, start shifting their life around her. They cancel gym sessions, change their schedule, reduce time with friends, all to be more available. At first, it might feel like love. But slowly, it turns into self-abandonment. And that's when attraction starts dying. Because the moment you put her above your mission, she stops seeing you as the man she first respected. A masculine man never forgets his direction. His work, goals, growth, these remain his compass. The relationship is part of his life, not the center of it. He can love deeply, but he never sacrifices his future for temporary emotion. That commitment to purpose is sexy. It signals strength, leadership, and long-term thinking. It tells her, even if we're close, I will never betray the man I'm becoming. That kind of clarity is magnetic to women who crave emotional safety and long-term value. What makes this boundary so powerful is that it leads your whole life. When a woman sees that your focus isn't her, it's your evolution, she's pulled in by the gravity of that energy. She doesn't feel like you're everything, and that makes her want to earn her place in your world. In a society of men chasing women, the man chasing greatness becomes unforgettable. He's the rare type who doesn't lose himself for love, and that's the kind of man she wants to follow, not just flirt with. So here's the truth, brother, women don't fall for men who beg for attention. They fall for the ones who respect themselves so deeply that they'll walk away from anything that violates their peace. These 6 boundaries aren't just about attraction, they're about building a life where you are in full control. Where your time, energy, and purpose are protected. And trust me, the moment you stop chasing and start leading, she'll feel it. Women are biologically wired to test a man's strength, not just physical, but emotional. And when you show her that your boundaries are non-negotiable, she doesn't see a wall, she sees a man who knows his value. That's rare. That's attractive. And that's exactly why she'll respect you, desire you, and chase you, not because you begged, but because you never needed to. If this video gave you a wake-up call, drop a like, share it with a man who needs to hear.